Hello, Gloucester Township.
How are you?
It's mid-March, and as you said, spring is around the corner.
Yep, spring is about a day or so away, and we're sitting here freezing, but it's going to be warm in a day or two.
It is. I can't wait till it not be freezing down here, too. Like, I don't have to bundle up, and you seem to always have the sweat T-shirt on.
Yeah, I always have a T-shirt.
It's generally pretty cold in this.
I don't like the restriction. Like, you know how some people always wear shorts, and even in the wintertime they'll have shorts on?
A lot of those guys.
I could do that, but I like short sleeves instead of shorts. I don't know.
I do. I don't like long sleeve stuff, but
I hate it.
It's always cold down here, so I just figured I'm gonna bundle up.
I'm a mammal. I'll adjust. I don't know what you are, but
this last council meeting was on March 13th.
Yep. So we're recapping that. It was a short one, right?
We had one. Police swearing-ins were those ceremonies were held. Probably took up about an hour. I felt like, and then a lot of some promotions, some new policemen, new bloodhound.
Yep.
Second bloodhound now. And then
Trixie, I think, was the dog's name. I believe that's what it was.
Was that what it was?
That's what I remembered out of it.
The last one was Venus. I remember the first one was Venus. But apparently a big demand for bloodhounds in Gloucester Township. When they had the first one, I was like, wonder when we're going to use that, Yeah. In case I guess a child.
I think their specialty is finding people.
Finding people, yeah.
Finding.
So, yeah, I just thought, man, I probably won't get a whole lot of use out of that dog, but apparently so much use that we've got another one coming. So,
yeah, I think they did mention that there was it was just the dog was just used in a recent case, so it's a good thing to have a second one on. Yeah,
pretty cool. And then there was a commercial that I actually saw this morning, browsing through YouTube. So there is
it's like a business breakfast, that they're having. It said that was a 20th annual, so we're assuming this has been doing, they've been doing this for 20 years. From what I gathered from it is you don't have to have a business in Gloucester Township. It's just if you're a business owner that you're in Gloucester Township. That's what I gathered out of it. You can have this breakfast. Just a gathering of, people. So we're just...
Yeah,
we'll put it out there for you guys.
We'll play it. Heard about it this morning, and figured we'll play it for you so that you all are aware.
Gloucester Township means business. Hi, I'm Mayor Dave Mayer, inviting the business community to our 20th annual business breakfast, sponsored by the Economic Development Partnership of Gloucester Township. This annual event brings together business people from across the township and the region to meet, network, and share in the progress that's occurring in our community. We'll present awards to local businesses, and this year's theme is Women-Owned Businesses. As a part of the relaunch of the Business Breakfast, we are proud to announce a new award chosen by the community. It's called the Community Award. Each year, the Community Award will focus on a different business category. For 2023, its focus is women-owned businesses. So make sure you visit our website and cast your vote for our first annual Community Award. Also, this year's Business Breakfast will feature one of Gloucester Township's most high-profile business leaders, former Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski. Gloucester Township is always looking to attract new businesses to our town and help existing businesses to expand, because business brings jobs, goods, and services to our vibrant community. So we hope all members of the business community will join us on May the 4th at 9 a.m. at Valley Brook Country Club. This event is free, so come join us at the annual business breakfast, because Gloucester Township means business.
So, we were not paid to do that.
No.
We did not sell out to the mayor. No. And, but it is it is something
Don't get any ideas, folks.
Wanted to, they're like, they sold out.
Well, we're done with them. You know how you could also come to that conclusion on the next thing that we're going to play was our council has someone endorsed us, and then when someone asked a question, how could we find that out? And they brought it. They said, actually, you got to go to the Restore GT podcast because they they're the authority.
If they only said us by name, but that was I wasn't even. I was zoned out. I'm like reading through the agenda, and somebody taps me and goes, "They're talking about you." And I'm like, "What?" I had to come home and watch it later, but check it out.
How would we find that out? Because I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
So you thought that was said? Well, we have people that videotape and people that break down our
Yeah, but I mean, when was that?
I'm responding to you. I'm sorry. Okay.
So we have people that videotape and break down our council meetings.
Yeah, that's us.
Unless there's somebody else doing it. And
Yeah. Well, we are the #1 podcast.
We are the #1
Gloucester
Township podcast.
Yeah, but the one thing that came up on that commercial there that I just noticed as we were putting it on there, Joe, was the EDC, which is used to be the Economic Development Corporation. In our town, in most towns, it's a branch of the government or a part of a committee that but not in Gloucester Township. We have a whole privately owned business that so you can't get information on meeting minutes and things of that nature. And it used to be called the EDC, the Economic Development Corporation, I believe is what it stood for.
Yeah.
EDC in other towns would say committee would be the C in there, but so Sam Sweet, who's one of the clips that we always play, or one of the people that are in the clips that we always play, always goes up and questions them. Somehow he found that their charter went, they let it go, they let it lapse. So he ended up buying their name or registering their name, and he brought it up to council and said, "You guys are doing business with a company who hasn't even." So rather than pay their back, because they could get that back by saying, "All right, we're going to pay our, what is it, the annual minutes or whatever, annual, meeting things, pay the back things and reinstate their own charter." But instead of doing that, apparently they must have just created a new company and say, "Yeah, it's an economic development partnership." So that's pretty comical to me, because they just recently, as of the. What was it called? The Food Truck and Beer Festival. They were one of the sponsors of that, and it was as the EDC. But now apparently this is the EDP. So, and it's called a partnership. So, just a funny thing to note.
So yeah, if you got nothing going on May the 4th, that you own a business, or you don't even need. I guess you don't even need to own a business. Maybe they're interested in opening a business in Gloucester Township. May the 4th, if you're not doing Star Wars stuff that day. May the 4th
be with you.
Yeah, you've got...
you have to register online, apparently, so just watch that video again. I think it tells you. Just go to GlowTwip. I'm sure it's on their website.
It's probably really hard to find.
Yeah.
Like everything else.
It's buried, probably on, I don't know what random page it might be buried on, but...
a lot of the community service that I feel like I do is just telling people where they can find stuff that they can't. And I'm like, I'll just put a link to it on RestoreGT.com.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you'll find it there. So, so that's began the meeting for March 13th.
Again, it was a pretty short one. We had just a couple clips to pull from it. There wasn't a lot that happened.
Yeah, not a lot going on in that one. But great clip from Paul Krug, who in our last meeting we talked about I think we had some comparisons on the annual budget. We compared, I think, $54 million to. I think there was only one other comparison.
No,
right?
It was like 70-some million to 14 million. It was a 263% increase from 20 in 20.
Yeah, well, 14 million to 54 million was the 20-year increase. That's what it was. We looked at the 20-year increase. This time we have comparisons now between. So we're always compared between. Some people say.
Right. Well, what happens is somebody like Paul will go up there and be like, "Now listen, Washington Township, a comparable in size and and everything. This is the case." And they'll go, we don't compare it to Washington Township.
Yeah.
We're more Cherry Hill." And then you go up there and you say, Cherry Hill, and they're like, no. That's more like Washington Township. We know Washington Township. And you're like, so no matter what, you can't win.
So the best thing to do was really
do both.
Just do them both. And it was, I've seen these numbers. I've seen these numbers over the years. But it still always gets me. And even in the meeting, I'm going, wow. Yeah. So, check it out.
It's budget season. I usually go into some data around this time. last week I had talked about the last 20 years, which I go back and look at, and how the budget from 2001, $14 million, to last year, 2021, last available to the state was $54 million. Well, I also pulled the data for 2021 and ran comparables, and that my favorite comparable is Washington Township, and council's seemingly favorite comparable is Cherry Hill. So in 2021, Gloucester Township obviously collected that $54,200,000 in order to have the operating budget. At the same time, Washington Township was able to operate on a $30 million budget, $30,600,000, and Cherry Hill was able to operate on a $46,500,000 budget. Now, when you talk about the pie chart, which is the breakdown of county to school to municipal, I'm going to focus on municipal. The share of property taxes for municipal in Gloucester Township is 30.9%, whereas in Washington Township, it's 19.7%, and in Cherry Hill, it's 15.4%. When you look at the property tax rates, in Gloucester Township, we're 1.2. In Washington Township, we're 0.64. And in Cherry Hill, we're 0.58. So across all of those metrics, and I realize I'm up against time, we're significantly higher
double
in our operating budget and taxation rate than the comparables, both your comparable and mine. So I will send an additional email with this information, although it is readily available through nj.gov. It's the DCA Tax Viewer, which is a spreadsheet and has visualizations as well. So I'd ask you to look at this and we can continue our dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crew.
So, what if they pick up the trash in Cherry Hill, Washington Township?
I don't know. Do
Probably
they have
not.
a public works? Like, does leaves get collected?
Yeah, nothing at all.
Sticks.
There's no roads.
Yeah. Well, I guess to be fair though, because I'm not sure how comparable it could be. Like, could they come back and say, well, our taxes haven't been reassessed in 13 years or something like that, and Cherry Hill just had theirs redone, and I have no idea when they did it. I'm just saying, could they say this? Like, did they just have theirs in 2019? So that percentage rate, is it more? The dollars are still the same, but the rate being different because they still have to levy the tax dollars, right? Yeah. This is where I think I said it last. Like, I can't deposit percentages in my bank. They only take dollars. Yeah. So that percentage part, is that actually a good comparison? Because that could throw that or skew that off and say, well, the percentage is off because of how much the town is worth or valued at because of the assessment. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if that skews it or not. I could be just completely talking out of my rear end right here, but I think that has something to play that wasn't factored into that, to be fair.
But these things have been compared now for years.
Yeah, the dollars is still the same thing.
Yeah, they've been doing this comparison for years now with these other two townships, and I don't know. I've always thought of those as better townships, in the way of
more desirable.
Cherry Hill schools are great. Washington Township schools are good. When you talk about that, you're talking about schools, and then you're talking about property values. It's one of the reasons I found myself here when I moved back to New Jersey in 2016 was because it was a little cheaper here for the same house that I could get in like Sewell. But it didn't take very long to realize that. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm paying money elsewhere though. I'm paying more for services that they're also getting over there. I'm paying more for them here, right. And that was kind of what got me about that whole situation. So our taxes are more, our property values are less. I'd rather see that turn around the opposite way. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's
you know,
interesting.
it's something has to change in order for that to happen.
There
to go
is
that
a
direction.
full. There's going to be a full budget breakdown discussion special episode coming up with Paul.
We believe. We're not sure.
Yeah, I was hoping to get Paul in here today, and we were gonna do something separate just to talk about that, and then just have Paul join in on the recap. But
Yeah.
I guess I don't think Paul could make it this time, so I'm guessing sometime this week, hopefully in one of the nights this week that I'm free, and hopefully maybe even you're free too. We can the other three of us can go through the budget or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the next topic was the MUA dissolution that is coming. You know, it has been announced. I guess it is now for a few months. It seems like it was yesterday, but it was.
It's been a while now. It's been a while now, and it's an interesting topic because at first it seemed like, okay, we're going to dissolve the MUA, and maybe we'll save some money. There's probably some redundancies there. Unfortunately, that means that some people are going to lose their job.
That's what redundancies are.
Yeah. So you look at it from a township government standpoint. You're like, all right, we're reducing the size, we're reducing spending, and that unfortunately that means that somebody loses their job. But at the same time, you also have to wonder, well, what's the end goal here? What is the end goal?
Right, there's a reason it's being done, and there's a lot of positives and negatives to doing something like this, and there's an intention, right? It's not just like somebody woke up one day and was like, "That's it, we got to do it.
Yeah.
There's a like you said, there's an end goal. Like we don't know what that is. It's only speculation, around it. But what is it? And
People are speculating a little bit, and some of the talk was, well, is it going to just fall under Public Works like they say it is, or are they going to hand it off to like an American Water? Is American Water going to take it? American Water, where a mayor also works for.
yeah, I mean it's a fairly fair assumption. You're not a conspiracy theorist to question, is that what could potentially happen? It's happened in many towns around the country, state, whatever, and that it's now become privatized versus becoming before being a public entity. The job of the mayor for American Water, I believe, is like a lobbyist, like a political
Public
lobbyist
relations,
or something
I think
like
it
that.
is, something like that, yeah.
So it's very possible that there's some sort of an end game there. I know there's been talks about, and I don't know, I don't know politics like some of these other people, but I hear people talk and they say that the mayor's actually going to be running for Senate maybe, or something like that, because this person, and now I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But maybe it's, hey, I'm going to be leaving. I think I'm secure enough in my my position.
Yeah.
But while I'm in power, maybe now's the time to strike, because it's not going to look bad on me, because I'm going to be out of there. They can go deal with
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. I don't know. I'm not making a speculation. I'm just repeating something that I heard, but I haven't heard many other speculations other than.
Yeah, you can think about that too, and you think about, all right, if that happens, they'll get rid of they'll probably get rid of the people that are currently working for the MUA if American Water takes it over, or maybe even Aqua. Maybe there's a money saving there, but then you have to also think too, these are private companies.
Yeah, they're for profit.
They're for profit. Yeah, for profit companies. So these companies have to turn a profit. They've got to turn some percentage of a profit, which means, and a lot of people in the industry that we've kind of chatted with have said, if this happens, you're looking at like a 30% increase.
Yeah.
In your bills.
Well, and part of that, I believe, also comes from, and I could be wrong, but the infrastructure that's in place is old at this point in time, right? So the pass off from a town saying we're not going to incur the cost of whatever it is, $50 million to redo our sewer systems or whatever the case is. I don't know if the costs are. I'm just throwing an example out, but they could say that's what we're doing. Is we're going to value that as not worth us doing. It's a savings to send it off to a private company. Well, that private company now, like, to your point, is okay. We're going to take that risk on. We're going to invest the money in there, but we're also going to recoup it by raising your rates because we had to pay for this stuff that your township or whatever let go defunct, over all this time and didn't take care of it. So there's
like the ambulance service.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like our ambulance service now, we didn't do a good job, right? Apparently, I guess it's in private hands and we pay more money for it. It's done to an emergency situation. Oh my God, we got to get this, okay. So here we are. Paying more.
Yeah, can't really take a side on that one to tell you whether or not this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. We're just speculating.
But the point of the whole thing is, though, there's people's jobs that are not on the line, but they're in the balance of this whole thing that have a question. You would want to know too if you were, if your job, your company was being bought out that you work for, or something's changing hands. You just want to know, like, hey, should I start looking for another job? Am I secure here? Are you going to try and cut my pay? So they've gotten no answers whatsoever. So, to go back to the point of what are the intentions, no one from the township has told them, apparently, the intentions. So they had their union, I don't know, who is it, the union president or the...
he's a representative, because the shop steward, the guy that works for the MUA, he's been to every meeting and asked, do you have any update? And he's trying to let his people know if they've got a future, with the township. And I guess after no answers, they sent somebody in from the union to ask the questions.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for this time. My name is Ken Bear, and I'm here tonight as the Secretary Treasurer of Teamsters Local 500. And as such, I'm the business agent for the bargaining unit, represented by the GT MUA. And I'm here to get some kind of response out of you all about what's going to happen with our members. They were told back in January that there was going to be some kind of consolidation with the township, and I think 2 months is certainly long enough for you all to have some type of plan in place and to inform the members what your intentions are.
Yeah, and they didn't have anything for him yet.
No. It was basically, we have to go to the finance board. He didn't ask what the outcome is going to be. He asked, what are your intentions? And then, the answers back were like, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be approved for the, through the finance board and this, that, and the other. And it's like, that isn't what I asked. How many times does that happen? Or if they just answer questions that were not asked? It's so frustrating.
And somebody's got to know. Like, somebody obviously thought this out.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to happen. And then they said, and that's how it wound up on an agenda to begin with. Like, somebody thought this out already.
Right.
And this goes back to what we always ask for. Just transparency. Just give transparency. Right. Why are you hiding this?
Answer this question. It's not
you
that
work
hard.
for us. Why are you hiding this from us?
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. So I've been in several situations where companies have been acquired that I worked for, and every day that you don't know whether or not HR is going to stop by your desk and say, "Hey, we don't need you anymore." Yeah. It's terrible. I've left companies just because I didn't know, and I'm like, I'm not going to be the guy that's that gets blindsided. So I'm just going to leave and go somewhere else. That's how I left my last job. I just was like, I don't know what's happening. They ultimately did outsource, but that uncertainty, it makes people quit already. So
it's not fair to the workers.
I feel for those guys. They just want answers. They just want the same transparency that we do. So hopefully somebody steps up, and I'm sure they're not going to stop coming to meetings. They're going to be there, and they're going to ask questions every time. Hopefully somebody.
If you know any of those guys from the the MUA, link them to this to this podcast here. Let them know we're talking about them. We're on their side to find out what's the answer to to your jobs. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification buttons.
We should get the old Rode mic that we just bought now.
Yeah,
and then go out and go on the street interviews, and we'll go over to the MUA guys and meet them up.
Yeah,
and, just chat.
Yeah, I have it all ready to go. Actually, I'll talk to you after this. But did you get the what do you call it?
Get the little stickers for
the sticker.
It's called a mic flag.
You guys are gonna like it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little sticker for the mic flag. It says Restore GT Podcast on it.
Yeah.
And then I guess we're just gonna go make people on the street uncomfortable.
So we might see you guys out there.
Yeah, we might get beat up too.
Yeah. All right.
So, man, the next thing up on the list here, I really liked it. Let's hear what Paul has to say about this, and then we can talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
Evening, Council. Paul Krug, Blackwood Estates.
Good evening.
I sent council and the administration an email yesterday. I don't expect that you will have had time to read through and have fully investigated everything I put in there, but if you did you have any questions or anything you had wanted to discuss with regard to that email?
I guess my question is when you, so Paul had sent an email for those in the public who are not aware of it or watching at home, Mr. Krug, about what Pittman, the town of Pittman did with an old bank building there. Okay, so they had two proprietors there, Menino. There was a liquor license that was for sale, I believe for $550,000, and they thought it was too expensive. So what they did, the township, is that the township took over the building, or they owned the building, and they leased it out to the proprietors. To avoid the liquor license was to get a concessionaire's permit or license where they were able to sell alcohol. And that concessionaire's license or permit, and Nancy's shaking her head because this is in her wheelhouse. It's $2,000. Is that per month or per year?
That is
What do you think
per,
is
I think that's per year.
per year? Okay. So that's the email that Mr. Krug had sent to me. It talked about possibly if that's something that could happen at the bank building on Church and Blackwood Pike. As we stated here earlier, you've attended these meetings, that a black box is envisioned for that particular site. And the second part of your email was talking about pickleball courts, and that the now there's a private pickleball operator coming to town. So why not save $500,000 of taxpayers' money and not have a pickleball court? So those are the pickleball courts that we had scheduled for Hickstown Park, diverted elsewhere. Okay, so that's the gist of your email.
That's right, yes.
So I found it very interesting, the Pittman part. The pickleball courts, that is committed. We're moving forward with that.
Okay, understood.
So
There's kind of two topics there, right? So,
the Merrymans thing. If you're not familiar, in Pittman, there's an old bank building, historic bank. I forget the name of the bank, but it is now Merrymans Pub. It's a kind of a beautiful pub inside. It's a good place to go. I recommend it. A little expensive, I thought, for drink wise, but the township bought the bank.
Similar to this to
Same situation.
to back up a little bit. This is in discussion about the bank building that's at the corner of Black Horse Pike and Church Street. That's that historic building, that the township has purchased, has gotten grants to make this black box theater in there, and they think that that's going to be the tipping point of the, turning downtown Blackwood back into, something up to, Anyway, it's been brought up multiple times that, there could be better uses of that, that building, and this idea came up from Paul. So go ahead with the rest of the.
Yeah, so Pittman bought this bank, bought the bank in Pittman that was kind of in the same situation, and I guess they renovated it, and then they leased it to Merrymans. But then a part of what Merrymans also needed a liquor license, and the liquor license was $500,000. Which I guess the business owner probably couldn't take on. They're starting a brand new business.
Right.
So the township, I think, purchased the liquor license that I guess it was out there. They had one available. They are kind of leasing it to them,
right,
at like $2,000. I guess it's a year, which is, fantastic that's an excellent way to help a business start up. I'm not crazy about the idea of, government handing out things like that and helping people start businesses. I just don't want the government involved in a lot of things. But
no, but at the same time, I don't know the details of Merrymans, but like you said, the liquor license, the way that those work, a town has a set amount of licenses, and they don't just issue more when you need them, right? So there's if anybody local here, if you remember, I think it was called the Crazy Cat or something. It was like on
Oh yeah.
Herfville Road, maybe that is. It's like up in Deptford. It was
Yep.
like complete mess of a place. But the owner of that was actually able to sell the liquor license to Red Robin, who has deep pockets, and then paid them so much money for their liquor license because they don't issue new liquor licenses for opening up at the Deptford Mall. So that guy was able to sell his liquor license. The business and the building were worth, I guess next to nothing because it was just so run down and old. But he made enough money off that license. So that's where they're saying, okay, in Pittman, a liquor license is $550,000. That's not like the town set that. That's somebody owns that license, and they're not letting it go for less than that price.
Yeah.
However, so the state ABC, the Alcoholic Beverage Commission or Control, whatever commission, they have different ways that you can legally sell alcohol, right? And one of them is a concessionaire's license. And I've had concessionaire licenses before, and it's, like I said, it's $2,000 a year, but it's not an actual, like, you can't transfer that or sell that.
Right.
I'm not sure where it's at, but I know there's a lot of people are aware of like BYOB places. There's no actual license for a BYOB because the ABC doesn't have jurisdiction over you if you don't have a liquor license. But they also are losing out on revenue from places that don't have a BYOB, like the ability to have to be able to collect the money from them to issue them a permit, for this. So this situation in Pittman was able to, I guess, we'll say qualify to be a concessionaire. Like, okay, we're going to lease this to the town owns it, so we need a concessionaire to run this thing here and have a license to be able to serve alcohol. So now that pub is an extension of the town, which in my opinion would be better than a black box theater. We've said before, like in the history of the world, a black box theater has not been the tipping point of revitalizing a town.
I mean, most of us, and I'm sure most of you had to Google what's a black box theater.
Well, I knew what it was.
I didn't know. I didn't know, and I can't see myself ever going to a black box theater. It doesn't.
Most of them, I mean, anything that I've seen, they don't last very long. There's good intentions behind it, and it's just not.
Look, what is it? A couple yards down is Main Stage,
right?
Where we've got that already.
Right, we have that part of the arts. Let's cover something else.
And the township owns that building
brewing?
too.
That's an art.
Yeah, the township owns that building also.
Right.
So
and the library next to it.
Yeah. So the township is just buying up all this stuff, and then they're dictating what's going to go in there. And I don't know, just as a normal consumer,
right?
I don't see that. I don't see the draw to it.
And I don't know the Merrymans thing, but I was going to say, and I got off on a long rant there. But in their lease, like you're saying, it was $2,000. There, part of it could be also too, like commercial leases. They have what they call like a triple net, where you're paying the taxes too. So maybe if the township owns it, there's no tax revenue coming in from that that property. So you're almost at a net losses the second the township owns it, because there's nobody paying taxes on that property. But in that case, maybe they're able to also collect tax from that property, in addition to it being something more attractive than a black box theater to the masses. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but a black box theater probably is able to qualify for grants a lot easier than a building that we rent out to a pub. So we love our grants around here.
Yeah, or even the talk about that property now for a long time has been one of the things that people have said over and over again. What would be great there is a brewery.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they renovated that and then let a brewery come in, help the brewery. I know a brewery license is way cheaper, but even if the township covered that.
However, you have a lot of restrictions on a brewery license without foods and like what's considered an event. Like they can't have entertainment at a brewery, and that's all has to do with
sports on TVs. Depending on the kind of license that you get. Now, a brewery can go and get a full license, or maybe a concessionaire's license that would allow them to have football games on or something like that. Or if they can't have food, Holy Tomato's next door. I'm sure the owner of Holy Tomato would love to deliver pizzas next door continuously.
Yeah,
and then you think about the rest of the rest of the places on there that have some kind of connection with food. I think there's Flames is down the street.
Yeah, there's another one down.
You've got a ton of places there that would also benefit by having that.
I don't know about a ton, but there are places.
There's some places, but if other places can now come in because now they can deliver food to the brewery that's there. So I don't know. I'd really thought this was hats off to Paul for looking this up, and because I didn't even know that was a thing that could be done. I think it's a fantastic idea. I don't like this black box theater thing.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to talk about, in the coming years, we're probably going to talk about, like, why is it, what are we doing with this building?
What is this? Yeah.
There's nothing, nobody's ever there anymore. So, I don't know. It's not going to bring people into town.
No, I would say
people aren't piling into main stage. So, I don't know. A pub or a brewery or, man, you get somebody to sell wine out of there.
Yeah.
Anything that would bring people in. It's not black box theaters. I'm sorry.
His second part of that question, to counsel there was about the pickleball and the pickleball courts that were a hot topic. If you've been following along to our podcast, it was a hot topic for a while. That's just like why are we spending this money after we just needed to borrow money? Like, we don't have money. You don't buy nice things if you don't have money to do it, and we're buying a nice thing. So Paul's going back to saying, hey, private industry came in the I don't know what that's called, the Sam's Bar and Grill park shopping center. I don't know what that used to be. There's like a grocery store, I think it was. It's been closed down forever.
It's $2 stores, a Sam's Club, a Dunkin' Donuts up front.
I thought it was like Giant or IGA or something used to be in there. I don't know how many decades ago, but it's just vacant.
Time. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but it's a an empty vacant spot that somebody's going to put pickleball courts in there. So Paul's saying, well, wait, we said we had a big problem with not having enough pickleball courts, which is why necessitated putting pickleball courts into Hickstown Park. Let's cancel that project because we've just solved it with private industry, and we can help a private business, flourish and stay in business. If there is a demand, why are we competing with private industry to
it's
take
a good
away?
point. I didn't really think about the competing part.
Right.
I mean, I just thought about well, this company coming in named Pickle Juice.
Right.
So it's a juice bar and a pickleball and pickleball courts. I didn't think about competition either.
Right. Well, I mean, that's how many times have we heard about, like, Gloucester Township is not friendly to businesses, right? We've heard that many a times. We played you in the very start of this whole podcast, if you just so happen to randomly be starting at this point. They had a whole business breakfast, and they're saying Gloucester Township is all about, it means business. No, it doesn't. When? You did when?
No, we've been
small business tries to come in and they give you every roadblock you can possibly come up with. They go to we've talked about people in the construction department being so nasty to people that they're going to council meetings saying, why was I just treated this way? Or we're not friendly to businesses. Let's not pretend we are. And that's now what we're doing is he's kind of putting it out there saying we could be more business friendly by not creating competition for a private business that's looking to come to Gloucester Township. And they're like, nah, sorry, that project's just moving forward.
Yeah, because they probably are going to fall in the same timeline. When that business goes in, those courts are probably going to be new at the time. So they're probably both going to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, if I had my choice between playing outside or
climate controlled environment.
Yeah, some climate controlled environment with a juice bar. It's kind of like one of those things. You go to the fancy gyms, the juice bar, and you don't really actually work out. You just go hang out at the juice bar. At least I could say, but at least you could say you went to the gym. Yeah. That would be me at the pickleball court. Like I would go there, grab some juices, go there, whack. Okay, that's a lot of it. Go back and get some more juices. I'm going to do that more than I am going to go to the Hickstown Park, where.
Yeah, I mean, it's it is outside. It's nice, outdoor. Either way, it's just, why are we competing with private industry that saw the same need, went to solve for it, and now we're still just going to backdoor them,
Yeah, I guess the good thing one good thing I guess they've got is that they're kind of far away from each other. So
Yeah, to a degree.
So I guess if Pickle Juice decides they want a second location in Gloucester Township, that might be a little bit tougher for them.
Yeah. Well, right around the same area that the Pickle Juice facility is going into, we have something new that's popped up, which is the Bike Path Connector Trail. Right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so this is a, hopefully this shows up on the screen here. So right off the Black Horse
I don't
Pike.
think it is. It's not showing on that.
No, we got down there.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know.
So,
this is new, just still pictures. We're still getting...
yeah.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't show, I'll just add it in.
There's a current bike path that you guys heard us talk about before where they were trying to dictate, is this a park, is it not? If you go to our YouTube channel and see all the crazy park videos that I do, that this was one, recently that I did. But this is at Lakeland Road and the Black Horse Pike, where the Lidl, is that how you say that, is supposed to be being built. So in your right-hand corner, if you see the the image here, that's where the Lidl is currently. So they're going to connect the Black Horse Pike down to the bike trail. And then also from the bike trail go more to your left, going all the way back down Lakeland Road, which goes to that multi-story building. It's like where the health department is, and the, I'm not sure what else, the Camden County something or other is back there. But yeah, so that's where that's going to go. And that's an important the connection of that is important in some old projects and things that have been going on. So we have one resident, Denise Coyne, who has literally been asking this question for like probably 3 years straight at almost every council meeting, and has yet to get an honest, well, I don't want to say honest, but it hasn't get to get an answer, actually answering her question of what this is. There was and I'm going to get all these terms wrong, and I'm sure she's going to, yell at me for it, but there's a plan, like a redevelopment plan that was in this area called the Villages of Gloucester, that the residents have paid X amount of dollars. I forget the exact amount, like $26,000. The plan never actually moved forward to the planning board because it didn't meet certain criteria. That all of these certain lots that are within this plan here could potentially qualify for a pilot, which is a payment in lieu of taxes. And when you have a pilot, it's a negotiated rate for an extended period of time, and all that money goes to the municipal budget versus going to the schools in your fire districts as well, which your taxes are made up of multiple, things. So a pilot just goes to the township. So somebody that has a property, they would benefit from having a pilot because it's something you can negotiate versus them saying, yeah, this is the value of your thing and this is,
Yeah.
So they want that. The owners of this property also happen to be the same family that owned that golf course where the warehouse was going in. So there's ties, with the ownership of that property. And now that there's a plan that hasn't actually been fully executed and made, the findings haven't been, I guess, finalized. There's just questions of why. Why hasn't it been finalized? And in order to meet a certain criteria for this, to be able to qualify for the pilot, one of the criteria is like a multiple transportation, uses. So a bus, cars, a bike path, would also help qualify these lots to become that. And because that hasn't actually been finalized, now, the properties can be strategically managed to now qualify. Not saying they are being, we're just saying it could be, right? And she's been asking questions like, it just seems a little odd that, this hasn't been, and there's never a reason ever given. So this bike path coming about now actually connects a third form of transportation to other forms of transportation that could potentially change the whole criteria of these properties. That was like, I think it's 16 lots along the pike that one family has purchased.
I could have sworn over the last several years we've seen this before. Like, as the bike trail seems to progress, it only progresses when when it needs to pass by another property that somebody owns that needs a favor. So it's, So
So that's part of what the background of why this is being, I guess, discussed or on topic, and then also kind of a little background around the clips that we're going to play here. So in this one, Denise asked about the process of adding it, and just the answer doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I believe that Lake Connector Trail runs through the village of Gloucester, or maybe totally in the village of Gloucester. I haven't had time to research that yet. But if that's the case, doesn't that have to go in front of council as the redevelopment entity?
I believe that was part of your question that you asked in your eGov, and I did not have an answer for you.
No, that was not part of my question.
Well, you put that in there, the Lake Connector, and you indicated, is that going to be part of the villages of Gloucester?
No, I said, would it impact the lots?
Okay.
But I'm now asking if that should be heard by the redevelopment entity if it's in a redevelopment area.
Mr. Carlmer is our legal counsel for that information.
Yeah, I can review that, but just trying to understand your question. I don't see why that would have to come before the redevelopment entity, but I'll look into it.
Because I thought council, as the redevelopment entity, had to hear any changes to a redevelopment plan.
Well, anytime we have an area that's been designated a redevelopment area, our ordinance requires any developer going into an area that's been designated for redevelopment by the governing body. That requires them to come before the council, and this town serves as a redevelopment entity, to present their plans and get approval from the entity to go forward. And their application before a planning board is never complete for completeness purposes until that redevelopment entity agreement is signed. That's one of the requirements that a developer has to present, that he has the okay from the redevelopment entity. When they change their plans, they have to come back before the redevelopment entity. So I don't know if there's a connector trail, I'm not familiar with if that's an easement area or how that's functioning, like a bike trail has come to my mind, and why that would have to come before the redevelopment.
So basically, a big word salad with no answer. There was a lot of words that said nothing.
That guy should be vice president. Oh my man, he just talked in circles.
Yeah,
and he basically said what she was saying the whole time was, if you make changes to anything, it's got to come back in front of him.
Right.
And then she's asking, and he's like, "No, I mean, if you make changes, it's got to come back in front of him." But
no,
wait, what?
Yeah, and that's what. So it's nuts.
Yeah.
So the next clip also kind of goes over the same thing where she's asking a question, they answer a whole nother question.
Oh, I think you muted that part where they were just, I don't know, they went off on that tangent, I guess.
Oh yeah, I think I did. Yeah,
okay.
I took out. It was a long-winded. You didn't need to hear it.
Oh, okay.
It was another one of those.
Okay. And the other question I have is, in my eGov, I asked about the study and essentially why that was done, because there's already a plan in existence that you stated at a previous meeting that could be used without being changed to redevelop that area. So I want to know what was the purpose of doing the study? What would that get?
So the answer is a completely different question.
Before that becomes part of the governing body's ordinance and before the redevelopment entity has any jurisdiction over it.
Thank you for that explanation. I understand that, but it doesn't answer my question.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Coyne.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, that's it.
That was it.
Just shoo off, please.
Can you answer that question?
Yeah.
Blue. What?
Yeah.
Blue. The answer's blue.
Yeah, the answer
See you later.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Wow.
I think Sam was told last week, I appreciate your time. And that was it.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't.
But, yeah, so that was another round of asking questions about this, and it just doesn't go anywhere. But we had somebody else on Facebook recently posted up a question about a park and why it's in such bad shape. And look at this park here. I don't know if this is coming up on our screen.
Yeah, I don't know. We can just show the park here. Oh, that's a good view there.
Yeah, but it's basically showing one of the slides using I don't know what kind of some kind of like gaff tape or something, and they just painted over it. Like, yeah, we're not going to fix the actual hole in here. We're just going to do this. So it just goes along with our whole parks, tour thing, our premium services that we get.
That was expensive duct tape they used to fix that.
It was, yeah. When the government buys it, it's more money than if you buy it.
How does duct tape work on a slide?
I don't know. I would imagine you just stop, maybe head first, head over heels kind of thing, right?
It seems like if you go down too fast, that's like a wedgie, man. That is.
Yeah.
It's like the back of your pants is up around your neck. Your feet hit first. You're going down. You're involuntarily standing up.
Right. Yeah. Whoa. That's a picture.
Dangerous. Yeah. Some rusty stuff there. That
I think what they were doing by that is just buying time. Maybe if we cover it with tape, paint it, and we'll just hope no one uses it. They won't even notice that we didn't fix it.
They painted the tape. That was fantastic.
They matched the paint somehow, or they painted the whole thing somehow. But that was pretty classic.
I think that actual park, though, from what I gather from the data that Sam Sweet came up with, that park is actually getting replaced.
It is, yeah. It's been on. There's one gentleman that's come multiple times to council meetings asking about that park. And They did address it. I know they ordered it, and it has been probably from COVID, like everything's excuse of COVID delayed it. But I know it's been on order or whatever, and it was just recently also brought up that it's here and ready to go in. So it is at the end of its life and has been replaced. But it was just funny to see somebody on Facebook putting that on there and being able to say, "Hey, guess what? We did a whole tour of parks. You want to go see the the videos?"
Yeah.
Back to our initial endorsement from council. If you want to know about it, go to the Restore GT podcast.
Yeah.
They talk about everything.
You covered Swamp Park, but you didn't cover Duct Tape Park.
No, that's on there. It just it wasn't duct tape at that point in time.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, this is new.
No. This is a
new job.
Yeah.
So premium parks here. That one's gonna be replaced. I guess also, it's Gloucester Township Talk where that was posted. That was frozen. I guess
was pretty funny.
Yeah, when we released our last podcast, Gloucester Township Talk was paused for 5 days. So I guess our last one didn't really get a whole lot of play because nobody was able to share it out. Which means you have to subscribe if you want to get the podcast. Without waiting for somebody to share it on Gloucester Township Talk to click on it. So
people say, "Oh, I don't have a YouTube account." So if you have a Gmail address, it's already linked. So just go subscribe.
Yeah, go subscribe. Or
easy.
Or
check notifications on.
Check restoregt.com.
Yeah.
Every day or so for new videos that are up. We do this every 2 weeks. In between, there might be some special videos. We got the special video with Paul coming up on the budgets.
Yeah.
So check that out. And stop selling stuff on Gloucester Township Talk.
Yeah, please, Jesus.
Stop selling your old washer on Gloucester Township Talk.
The day it was brought back up, I made a post in there. I'm like, thank God I've been trying to get rid of this washing machine. He's like,
lucky you didn't get suspended.
You find it at the bottom of the lake with your magnet. Yeah. But everybody started posting pictures, things for sale again. You're like, no one realized
immediately.
Immediately, and that's all I see later. It's crazy.
Some guy straight up wanted to fight me.
Oh, really?
He posted something for sale, and I was like, "You're definitely getting deleted."
Yeah,
instantly. And he's like, "What's your problem, buddy?" And then he said, "Private messaging me." And I was like, "I'm just letting you know they're deleting people without
no questions asked."
The guy that runs the page, he was like, "Look, I'm not. There's no more warnings.
He's lost his mind.
You're just getting deleted from this group if you post anything for sale now."
So that's it.
So I was trying to let that guy know, and I think he was going to fight me. So
that's pretty much it for our show today. Thanks for joining us.
It is. We went like an hour, 54 minutes.
Yeah.
And on a meeting that was had 5 minutes worth of content. So
there you go.
Good job.
You got to listen to us ramble. That's all.
I thought we
gave some good
Yeah, for
not
sure.
advice, but information for people.
For sure. I'm glad at the beginning of this I didn't let the short attention span folks know that this was going to be an episode for them, because
Right.
they would have.
Yeah.
They'd be angry.
Lost their mind.
They'd have been angry after 3 minutes that this podcast was still going. So, thanks again for joining in, folks. Like you said, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We go live every now and then, but yeah.
When we have time, we learned that Friday is the day where you try to bury news, but that's usually the only day that we had to get together, and we were trying to go live. And you're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. That nobody's watching it because no one's available at that time. So it doesn't.
Yeah.
Listen, we have lives besides this. We just do this for entertainment for you guys and get it on record and whatnot. So when we have time, we do it.
Yeah, stay tuned for the man on the street stuff too.
That should be fun. I really want to.
Keith getting beat down by strangers.
Yeah. We do have a list of questions that people. I guess what's the idea behind it, right? It's just to inform people of things and just find out what people know, right? Like that's my idea of it. It's like, hey, do you know how many police officers Gloucester Township has? Hey, do you know what the mayor's name is? Or like, do you know whatever it is? How many parks we have in town? Like just simple questions that you would think that a resident knows, and then just to find out what the actual knowledge of your community is.
Because we had
how many schools are there in town, or how many is that what your idea of this is too?
That's a great idea. That's a great. I don't know. I was terrified by the thought of approaching people out on the streets, but no, it's a great idea. Even with back when we were doing interviews for candidates for the 2023 elections, we had people coming in and they were like, I want to be here. I want to do this, and like, why? And we get talking to them, and they're like, I want to be on council because we got to change these schools. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. Or you'd find out they have no idea who the mayor is. They don't know what council does. So, we thought...
Well, that's part of this whole podcast, is just kind of informing people and letting them know. And this is it's your local backyard. This actually affects, you. What we're talking about. It's not national, politics kind of thing. This is your backyard. If you want to fix the schools, go to a school board meeting. If you want to, something, you have a problem with the MUA, go talk to the MUA. Or if you think we have too many fire trucks? Well, guess what? They have public meetings for a fire, district. Find out which one you have. Find out that we have multiple of them and they don't all work together. It's a whole, there's a lot of different things that we try to, I guess, inform people of and make it an informative, I don't want to say comical, but like in a fun, personal way, or not personal, like a human way, I guess.
Yeah, it's
an
more
everyday
of a
person.
Because obviously we're not getting transparent answers from the people that we're asking that represent us.
Right.
So this is the best way we can possibly think to get some kind of
shed light on it. To help other people understand.
It's a lot of digging to get some of the info, but at least if they can't provide transparency, at least we can give you our take on what most of this stuff means. So. We will be back again in about a week or two to cover the next meeting is...
Board of Ed is Monday night, and I think the next council meeting is the week after that. I don't know what that date is, but it's...
No, it is... if you go to RestoreGT.com, on the very top, I just updated it, on the very top of the page, there is the events tab, and click on that, and that will show you all of the...
Yeah, so maybe May 2nd, I believe.
All the council meetings.
It's 1st and 4th, right?
So, 2nd and 4th.
2nd and 4th?
Yeah, you got me.
I don't know. Go on the website.
RestoreGT.com.
We'll talk to you later, guys. Let's wrap this up.
See you later, folks.